Hi, welcome back to my channel. So today let's talk leg 2 of the 2025 Iron Butt Rally. I'm in last place and I'm happy about it. So I'm sure you want to hear this. Hi, welcome back to my channel. Hi, welcome back to my channel. Hi, welcome back to my channel. Hi, and welcome back to my channel. Hi, welcome back to my channel. Okay, after my scoring issue and my failures and mishaps in leg 1, I decided I was going to come out in leg 2 rejuvenated, ready to go, and start doing what I can do. So rider meeting promptly at 5, covered a few little things, and we were issued a new set of loops. I chose a Legacy Rally L. I had 5 stops on this. I called them the baseball loops. First was Bob's Java Hut, and then I went down to Louisville, Kentucky, and got a couple baseball bat and some of those things. And then I was headed around to Collettsville for a cup house, and then finish up at Hot Coffee Junction and make my way back to Iowa. This was 2,884 miles, and the bonus for completing all of it was another 685 points that I needed desperately. So finished up my planning, added in as much as I could, and off I went. Okay, so with the rains coming, I got to the bike pretty quick, and off I went. Headed north to Bob's Java Hut. I wanted to get outside of the city limits and try to, get out of any traffic that was going to be happening. And just north of the city limit area, I picked a gas station, pulled in, and found there'd be several other rally riders there. There was a team of David Bell and Garland Arnett, and a solo rider, Steven Johnson, who was also in the top 10. We all kind of chatted for just a minute. No one seemed to be in a real big hurry to jump back out in the rain, but finished up our conversations and actually exchanged phone numbers with Steven Johnson, and that started our little friendship as we spoke to each other a couple times a day during the rest of the rally. It's always good, I think, to find someone that you can call at 2 in the morning, and you don't have to share rally secrets, but when you're on the same loop, you just say, hey man, how are you doing, and things like that, man. It's really good. I mean, it does help. So continued north, eventually got out of the rain, things started to dry up, so that was pretty good. Got up to Java Hut, Bob's Java Hut, and there I had to buy a coffee mug. Let me show you that picture. So from there, I headed south to Louisville, Kentucky. There was 3 bonuses. 2 of them were baseball oriented. One of them was a mural. I'm not sure what that really was, but that was one of my mandatory, along with the bat that was mandatory. And then I grabbed the third one I grabbed was George Washington or Abe Lincoln. I'm not sure which one, from the LDX rally. So I grabbed all 3 that was in the area and headed out. Feeling really good. I had run into Steven Johnson again, so I knew he wasn't far in front of me. And now I was headed toward the Johnsonville, Tennessee area, this Collettsville Cup House. I knew I wouldn't reach it that night, but I wanted to get as close to Johnson City as I could. My brother lives there. I did think maybe I could make that for my rest bonus. As I reached Richmond, Kentucky, this is where my problem came. Let me show you this picture. So that's the beauty of having a TPMS warning on your bike. Immediately I knew I had a problem before I felt I had a problem. Pulled over on the interstate. It's about 2 a.m. and hooked my pump up to the tire. Wanted to check tire pressure and see what I could air up. Sure enough, it was low, but I was able to put air in it. So not sure how long it had been leaking. I decided I'll get it aired up and I'll take off, keep an eye on it and see how quickly it's leaking. So as soon as I got it aired up, I stowed all my gear and off I went. It was leaking pretty good, so I took basically the first exit I could. When I exited, there was a gas station, so I scouted that out. That looked like a good place to stop. Well, on the side of the road, I couldn't find anything that was obvious with it. So now that I've settled into this gas station, I decided I need to find what the problem was. Again, nothing obvious in the tire until I got looking, and then I found what I believed to be a cut, and then I could see something in there, and I began to dig it out. This is a problem. If I would have been using my head, I would have thought, what if this goes bad? Am I in a good position, a good spot to get this fixed? Quick internet search told me that there was a Honda dealer 1.1 miles away. If I would have been using my head, I would have rode to that location and then started working on the tire. At this point, I had a slow leak. If I could plug it and patch it and at least it maintain some, I'll get down the road and go on with life. If things go bad, at least I was in a location that they could probably have a tire in stock and get me out. But I didn't. I fooled around until I got the nail out. Now, I'm going to show you the nail. But that's not the story. The story is I had my wits about me to start my rest break. I'm stopped. I'm in a spot. I feel like I could be here a long time. I started my rest break. If I'm able to plug this, I'll clear my rest break and go on with life. If I'm going to be here a while, I'm going to use that time to my advantage and call it my rest break and be able to keep going. I've got to complete this loop. I cannot fail this loop. So I get the nail out, and then I don't know if it's because it's a steel belted radial or whatever the case may be, I can't get a tire reamer through there. It's kind of at an angle. I could not get a tire reamer through there. I could not get a plug in there, and now it's leaking air pretty fast. So I decide I'm going to try to make it the 1.1 miles to this Honda shop. I aired up the best I can and off I went. By the time I exited the parking lot, it was almost flat. I could feel it. I just rode right up in the Hardee's parking lot and right onto the sidewalk. I barely exited the parking lot. There was no saving this thing now. So at this point, all I could do was lay down and let's take a nap. It's around even at 3:30. So the internet told me the shop didn't open until 9, so I've got some time. So I laid down and I took a nap in the parking lot. I got a couple hours of sleep, literally on the sidewalk in the parking lot, so that was okay. I woke up, things were, it wasn't a terrible area I was at, but it wasn't isolated either. There was a lot of traffic, a lot of cars. So I woke up, I made another attempt. I started thinking about how I was going to get to the shop. I made a couple phone calls. I found a wrecker service. They wanted $300 to tow me the mile. I was hoping maybe the motorcycle shop had a pickup and delivery service. I also thought I could yank the wheel off myself, take an Uber, and be there when they opened. I just needed to make sure they had a tire for me. So now it's about 7. I went inside the Hardee's and got breakfast. I mean, you might as well take advantage of this. And I don't know, 7:30, quarter to 8, I noticed a guy on a Harley that went by, and he kind of looked my direction, but it wasn't obvious he was staring at me. He went up, looped around, and came straight back to me. Let me show you this picture. He asked if I was okay. He made a comment that he thought maybe I was having a heart attack or something, so apparently I didn't look very good for the wear that was on me. So I explained I was in the IBR, now I got a flat, and I'm waiting to see, if the local shop has a tire. He said he knew the people at the local shop, and he was texting them. He asked the size tire I needed. I told him. So he sent off a few texts. I thought that was great. And he mentioned he was going to have breakfast with his family. He invited me up to his chiropractic office if I needed to wait it out there. At this point, I only had about an hour, and I really didn't feel comfortable leaving my bike on that sidewalk. So, hung out a few more minutes. Now it's just about 9 when he comes back. He comes back and he says, "Hey, I'm going to get my truck and trailer. It's about 25 minutes. I'll be back." And he took off. I didn't know what to say. All these people had driven by me. EMS people drove by me. Cops drove by me. No one stopped except 2 people on Harleys stopped. This gentleman who's on his way to work and now on his way to get his truck and trailer, and a second gentleman who he actually offered me money to help with my tire. These 2 guys helped restore my faith in humanity. So 9 o'clock sharp, I called the motorcycle shop, told him what I was looking for. The guy says, "Oh, you're the guy who broke down." They had a tire for me. I didn't care what they had a tire for me. So I told him I was on my way. This guy shows up. We load up. By about 9:15, 9:20, I'm at the dealer, thanks to this guy. Truly a savior for my Iron Butt Rally. The shop opened the door. We kind of backed the trailer in, unloaded my bike. I explained about the car tire because they were looking at me kind of puzzled. Purchased a tire. The gentleman started to work on it. And the guy that saved me, Hamilton, he was gone. We did exchange phone numbers and stuff, and I really wanted to thank him, but he was gone. He went back to work, and I'm truly a savior. So about 10:30, they were finishing with my bike. They took it on a quick test drive, so I started figuring out what I could do. I had to eliminate anything extra. I only needed to get 2 more stops. I needed this Collettsville Cup House, and I needed the Hot Coffee Junction, and then back to Collierville. It was 1,844 miles left to ride. I had about 29 hours to do it. It was going to be tough. I couldn't waste any more time, so I flipped the page. I write everything on my tank bag, what I need to record, and my bonus stop, the codes, to include the loop code that I needed to score. I flipped that page, transferred over, and just wrote the 2 stops. I did not write the loop bonus code down. Error on my part. So off I go. I pushed as hard as I could. I got the first one, and it was way back in there. I was really happy to have a motorcycle tire on. The bike does handle okay with the car tire, but not as good as a motorcycle tire, and I was on some fun roads in Tennessee. It was a lot of fun. So I got that picture. I will say, initially, I was denied this bonus. And then when I explained my thinking, it was approved. Now, the book says place your bike in front of this archway. When I got to this place, it's a house. There's no signs that depict it as a business or anything. There was people swimming in the creek right beside it, and I didn't feel comfortable going into their driveway to take a picture. I felt this was private property and I shouldn't be there. So I positioned my bike in the road so I could get the bike in front of the archway that I needed, and I submitted it with that. When I explained why I did what I did, I was granted the bonus. I did learn that other people went right in the driveway, so I'm not sure if it's a business or not. I continued on. I was starting to get tired, but I wanted to push as hard as I could. Somewhere around the 12, 13, 1400 mile mark, I felt I could make it, and I had a couple of hours if I needed. I was ready to take a break when I got to the very last bonus. This one almost got me as well. I found the sign, it looked right, I conferred in a book, and I didn't see any other sign. So I took my picture and I submitted it. I left and I rode around the building, and then I found the other sign. They were almost identical, but a little bit different. I then text the rally master and I corrected my mistake. If you make a mistake and you correct it, they will give you credit for it. If you make a mistake and they catch it and they correct it and you don't ever say anything, that's a denial. So I made my correction, sent the correct picture, and off I went. Now I'm feeling pretty good. Now I just need to get back to the checkpoint. I was riding hard. It was getting late. I did stop and take like an hour and a half nap in a parking lot again of a furniture store. That helped. It gave me some energy. I made it up into Kansas City. I got a meal bonus. I was feeling pretty good then. I started grabbing a couple little bonuses that were around. I wanted to push as hard as I could because I needed to do some maintenance on the bike. I wanted to change the oil going into leg 3 and make sure everything was right with the bike. So the sooner I could get there, the sooner I could get the maintenance done and the longer rest break I could take, and I needed it. So I grabbed a few more bonuses. I arrived. When you arrive, they give you some time. After some time, they email you your score sheet. If everything's right, you just go on with life. If not, you go see scoring. Well, once again, I'm going to call it sleep deprivation. I failed to acknowledge the loop bonus. I didn't submit it. So I lost 685 points. I'm down now 1,700 points, at least, right? I can't make this up. I'm dejected, I'm bummed, but you know what? Now I'm gonna have fun. I will not be denied. I will not quit. I will not be denied this IBR finish. People were dropping out left and right. I will not be denied. So I finished the prep work on my bike. I got ready and I got the attitude that I was gonna have fun on leg 3. I'm 100% in last place and I was happy that I was still there in the fight. So stick around for leg 3. I appreciate you watching. Have a great day. Be safe.